Good morning, all. Welcome to Cruise Smarter Live. It's good to see you guys. How you doing? It's Sunday morning. So good to see everybody. I hope everyone is having an amazing Sunday. If you're new to the channel, I'm Walter, your independent travel agent with Where's Walter Travel. And we are here in the Orlando area. As you can see, it's an absolutely beautiful day behind us right now. And for about the next hour or so, we're going to be doing our best to answer your questions about all things cruising, as we do on most Sundays. And we're also going to talk about a couple of topics today, in particular weather and Wi-Fi. 2 W's today. As always, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rebecca, who's sitting right off camera. And if we can help you in any way with your travels, just reach out, where'swaltertravel.com. Our services are truly free to you, and we would love to help you, either myself, Corey, Mindy, anyone. Oh my gosh, everybody is here. Hi guys, Sue and Phil. Eric is here. Mimi. Bill's fan, how you doing, buddy? Michael's here. Kurt. Good to see you, Darla, Beam's mom. Hi, everybody. Benny, Becky. Man, how's everybody doing? And the weather is one of the big things that we are talking about today. Yeah, it's cold, and it's snowing, and it's sleeting across much of the nation. So, yeah, I'd love to know, so how is the weather up there right now? I mean, right now it is, it's warm. It's actually, I believe, going to be in the 80s today, but it's, what is it, tomorrow night?
Sometime tomorrow.
Yeah, sometime tomorrow we drop down into the 30s again. So it's kind of, you know, we're having a very strange winter down here in Florida too, with more cold nights and more cold days than I think we've had since we've been down here.
And just big drops.
Yeah, it's just big swings, you know, 70 down to 20, 80 down to 30. It's like, it's just very strange what's going on down here. But I know a lot of y'all are getting hit very hard right now. So be safe wherever you are right now. Please do be safe. Yeah, take care of each other. So, wow. Hey, Nancy. Hey, everybody. Eric, 10 more days until our Hawaii group cruise. How about that? It's almost here. For everybody coming on our Hawaii group cruise, we cannot wait to see you in 10 days. It's going to be amazing. Rebecca and I are actually taking off next Saturday. We're going to be heading out to Disneyland for 4 days first, and then we'll be joining everybody on the ship. So we're excited. We got the whole WhatsApp chat going on. Everybody's getting excited. Oh, it's definitely really, really cool. So let's see. So Bill's fan got 12 inches of snow coming today. I know Michael sent me some pictures. He's already got some snow. Let's see. It's just, Bean's mom says it snowed in New Jersey. I know my sister's got it up in New York.
And then my sister in Georgia has ice.
Wow. And Terry's got 12 inches in Shepherdsville, Kentucky. Wow.
I'll tell you one thing, though. I'd rather have snow than the ice.
I would much rather have snow than the ice. Yes, every single time, because that ice is no fun. That is no joke. So, yeah, just really a lot of fun. Really a lot of fun when you have ice. No, it is not. But how's everybody doing? Oh, Alex is saying he's supposed to get around 16 inches. Wow, that is crazy. That is a lot of snow, which kind of does lead into our first topic, talking about the weather and all of that. But actually, first I wanted to start, you know, it's been a while on Thursday night since I've had a guest. For those of you who've been following us for a while, on Thursday nights, I try to have a guest on our Thursday night shows at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I try to bring on one of our travel partners. It's been a while since I've been able to get one, but this coming Thursday night, we will actually have Silversea joining us on the show. Cheryl from Silversea is coming back. Of course, we'll be talking about that amazing group cruise, but if you have questions, interests, you're Silversea curious, and you want to talk directly to the cruise line, Cheryl from Silversea will be joining us this coming Thursday night, January 29th at 8 p.m. Eastern time, only on the YouTube channel. We will only be on the YouTube channel, and we will be talking to her about the Silver Nova, the Silver Ray, our cruise, and then all of the various, I mean, they have so many different kinds of ships and so many different kinds of itineraries. This is going to be a great opportunity for you to talk directly to the cruise line. So that's going to be Thursday night, January 29th at 8 p.m. We got Cheryl coming from Silversea. So we're very excited about that. Very, very excited about that. So, Barbara, I thought you were headed to Cali yesterday. Nope, next week. So what we try to do is we try to send out a notice like 2 weeks early to all of our clients to let you all know, but it's going to be next Saturday at stupid o'clock. We're taking off at 6 a.m. So, and according to one of my colleagues, they said baggage doesn't even start operating until 4:30 in the morning. So you can't even check your bags in until 4:30 in the morning. So I don't know. Let's see. So, oh man, Nancy's got 12 to 18 inches up in Connecticut. That is absolutely crazy, guys. So yeah, so I guess that's the first question. Is it snowing and or icy where you are right now? Alex brings up a good point. He's happy to have power. So, one of the little tricks that we have here in Florida, because we can get hurricanes, we can get storms, we can get all of that. We actually have a small butane stove specifically for when the power goes out, and I keep ground coffee around specifically for when the power goes out, so I can boil water and I can make coffee in my little AeroPress. So if there's one little tip I can give you, those little, if you can, obviously if you're living in an apartment you probably can't do it, but if you're in a home or you've got a balcony on your apartment, you could get at least a small butane stove, so at least you can warm up stuff if you needed to. So yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. But let's talk about, before we get into a lot of the other things, let's talk about our topic number one, which today is, how weather can impact your cruise. Obviously, we're seeing it right now. And it's interesting to me, the different responses that we're seeing from the various cruise lines. They're not all responding the exact same way. So as of right now, the Winter Storm Fern, now we've got named Winter Storm Fern. Hey, snowy in the lower Hudson Valley. I'm from the Hudson Valley originally. So hello, Hudson Valley. That's awesome. Winter Storm Fern is expected to drop at least 12 up to 24 inches of snow, something like that, depending on where you are. It's absolutely crazy. So obviously this storm is having wide-ranging effects on the airports, on your connecting flights, those of you who are trying to drive to these ports, and then even the port operations and how the cruise lines are operating. And really it's, these storms have the biggest impact when they hit the home ports, which is what we're seeing. We're seeing New York, New Jersey, and Baltimore, and even Galveston, Texas, all being impacted by the storm. This is the most disruptive to cruise operations, is when the weather hits the home port, like where the ship is trying to get in, and where the ship is going to unload the passengers, and where the ship is going to bring on the new passengers for the next cruise. That is the most disruptive thing that the weather can do. If the weather's in the way of the itinerary, well, the ship is just going to change, the itinerary is going to move around. But when you've got 2,000, 3,000, 6,000 people trying to get off a ship and then onto a ship on the same day, and that home port is being impacted, that is the biggest impact that you can have for a cruise. And it is very interesting to see how the various cruise lines are responding to this. So MSC says, hey, we're coming in today, during the heart of the storm. We're coming in, not going to affect us. We're coming to New York today with the Meraviglia. We're going to unload our passengers. We're going to take our passengers in. We're closing the terminal at 2:30 and heading right back out at 3 o'clock. So no accommodations made whatsoever as of right now, or as of this morning, by MSC. MSC is like, we're coming in. We're just coming in and doing it. Please be mindful of the weather and try to get here. That's basically what MSC is saying. And I don't know what's going to happen to all those people who are trying to get off the ship and then catch taxis and Ubers and Lyfts and try to get somewhere. So for MSC, they're kind of operating this as business as usual, which I kind of find a little interesting. Contrast that with the Harmony of the Seas from Royal Caribbean. Galveston was going to be impacted by the storm on the day she is supposed to go back out. So she actually came in a day early. She called off her last port and hightailed it right back to Galveston and tied up a day early. And then they gave the passengers a choice. You can stay on the ship because, you're supposed to be on the ship another night anyway. Or if you want to depart and try to beat the storm and get home, go ahead. That was a really interesting decision by Royal Caribbean, and to allow those people to at least get off the ship. And at least with that case, hopefully people were able to arrange to get in a day earlier and get down there by Galveston to the port. So that's interesting. And then Carnival, with the Carnival Pride in Baltimore, she's supposed to be coming in today. They decided to delay her till tomorrow, till after the storm. So she'll be coming in Monday, and then of course when that happens, the next cruise will be shortened. Now, by bringing in the Harmony of the Seas a day early, they technically shortened the cruise by a day, and they did give everybody a prorated refund for the one day, but they were still able to enjoy the ship. They were still able to stay on the ship and enjoy the ship. So no cruises were technically shortened. They just skipped the port stop and came into Galveston a day early. So in effect, Galveston was a port stop. It was another port stop. They could go out and explore Galveston for the night. So that is very, very interesting. And of course, you know, when things like this happen, the cruise lines technically are not under any obligation. Like if people can't make it to the Meraviglia today, MSC is technically not under any obligation to do anything for you. It's like, we're here, our ship is going out. You know, same with the Harmony of the Seas. You know, the Harmony of Seas is sitting there. She's waiting for her new passengers to come in on the day when it is going to be stormy. The cruise lines technically don't owe you anything because it's right there in the cruise contract that things could happen beyond our control, and if they do, it's all on you. Now, Royal Caribbean did give everybody that one-day refund, which was very nice for the people on the ship, but for those who are trying to get to the ship for the next cruise, this is where it really starts to get dicey because so many of you will say, well, I don't need travel insurance. I don't expect anything to happen to me. This isn't happening to anybody in particular. This is just a big storm that now suddenly you may or may not be able to get to the ship. You may or may not be able to get home, and now you got to, you know, stay in a hotel for a few days. This is what we talk about with unexpected situations with travel and why travel insurance is so important and why good travel insurance is so important. Not just any travel insurance, but you want to have good travel insurance to help take care of, well, what happens if I can't get to the ship or the ship is changing schedule? You know, we've even had ships where they come in a day early and they go out like that same day. They're just trying to get in before the storm and get right back out. In those situations, the cruise lines usually do step up if they've altered that schedule. But if the ship is coming in and it's going to go out, you are responsible for either exiting the ship or getting to the ship. And this is where independent travel insurance is so very important too, because the cruise line travel insurance probably does not cover airline, probably does not cover hotel. Only if you booked it through the cruise line, then maybe. But if you're booking your flights independently, you're booking your hotels independently, that cruise line insurance is basically for the cruise. It's going to have nothing to do with any third-party external factors whatsoever. Now, there are times when the cruise lines will say, hey, if you can't make it, you can book onto another cruise and we'll give you X amount of, you know, credit towards whatever your changes were required. But again, they're under no obligation to do so. So it's the weather at the home port that can have the biggest impact, or possibly the weather at your airport, just trying to get out of Dodge. So whenever you're thinking about travel insurance, and you're like, well, I don't need travel insurance, always think about a day like today, where the weather is impacting a huge part of the country. And even though it's snowing like heck in New York and everything that's going on up there, MSC's like, we're coming in and we're going out. We're staying right on schedule, and it's up to you to get there. And if you can't get there, well, it's kind of your problem. And it's rather difficult to get onto a ship at the next port. You might say, well, what if I just fly to the Bahamas and I meet up with the ship in the Bahamas? Well, that is a case-by-case basis. You need to call MSC. You need to find out if they're going to allow you. You need to call Royal Caribbean, see if they're going to allow you. There's all kinds of paperwork involved with that the cruise line do not like to do. So that is a possibility, but not guaranteed at all, that you would simply be able to fly to wherever the ship is going and then pick up the ship in that next port. So just keep that in mind as well.
And one thing to be very mindful of with any insurance, whether it's the cruise line or independent, is you are going to have to pay whatever fees or suck up whatever fees until you make the claim. Mm-hmm. So you're not, it's not going to just cover it automatically. You have to,
right,
you know, have the expenses and then document why things went wrong and make a claim, and then you get reimbursed.
Yeah, so you're always going to be reimbursed. So obviously, anytime there's an expense, anytime there's anything going on, you take pictures of, you do screen grabs of, like any expense that you've got going on, you grab all of that. And know that, yes, you will have to pay up front, like Allianz is the company that we use. We will have to pay up front, but then you will get reimbursed so long as the claim is accepted. Now, In the case of Allianz, which is a company we use, I know that on page 8, there's like 27 reasons why we can cancel and get a 100% refund, and weather is one of those things. You know, we just physically can't get to the cruise ship. But even if the reason falls outside of those 27 items, we can still make a claim. Then it's just a case-by-case basis. But having that independent insurance, having that option of knowing, well, if we can't make it to the ship, we know that we should get our money back by filing a claim. And based on the claims that my clients have made over the past 3 years, Allianz have been very, very fast at paying out. Cruise line insurance is not made equal, so make sure you check the terms and conditions very carefully of any insurance. And there is a website called insuremytrip.com, and if you're watching from Canada, it's insuremytrip.ca, where you can compare travel policy. But today is a great, great example of why you need travel insurance when you think, well, I don't need travel insurance, I'm never going to use it. Well, today would probably be a day that a lot of people, or this weekend is going to be a weekend that a lot of people probably wish they had travel insurance because they're not going to be able to make it to the ship. Now, will the ship wait for you? That all depends. It all depends on the cruise line and the ship and where it has to go. The cruise lines, it costs a lot of money to hold a ship at the pier. A lot of people don't realize that because you're paying for the berth space, you're paying for all of those people on the shore who, like the longshoremen who need to let go of the ropes, and then security and all of this other stuff. So it costs a lot of money to hold a ship. In some cases, the cruise lines will hold the ship, especially if, the one time that the cruise lines will really hold is if there are flights booked through the cruise line. And they know that they have like a flight coming in with like 30 or 40 people. They may hold the ship and wait for those 30 or 40 people to show up. But in general, they don't like to hold the ships that long. They might do just a little bit, but for the most part, they're going to try to keep the ship on schedule, just like MSC says, hey, 3 o'clock, we're gone. If you're here, you're here. If you're not, you're off. So.
And this is also another reminder of why it is always a good day to arrive in the home port a day or two early.
Mm-hmm.
Because that gives you a fighting chance to get to the port.
Yes.
If you're already there and don't have to deal with the flights that day.
Exactly. And I'm seeing so much snow around here. I mean, the snow is beautiful when you're just sitting at home and not having to do anything, right? It's a beautiful thing. But boy, for those of you trying to get to a vacation or cruise or whatever, wow, that is crazy. So let's see. Yep, big snowstorm today. 81 days to the Philadelphia group. Yes, good call, Felix. I like that. I like that. Mimi saw the video of me and Tony B from La Lido Loca. We were at the Disney Adventure. Anytime you can see Tony juggle is a good day. You know, I feel so bad for Tony. Tony had this whole plan to juggle in front of the ship. And there were only 2 ships technically there was only 1 ship in Port Canaveral that day. Technically, the MSC Seashore was the only ship in Port Canaveral that day. The Disney Adventure doesn't exist on the schedule because she's not supposed to be there. And so the MSC Seashore came out. It was beautiful sunshine. She's a big white ship. Tony has the camera all set up. He does this whole juggling routine in front of the ship. It was great. He forgot to hit record on the camera. And I felt so bad. I was hoping I got it on my camera, but just as he started juggling, I turned all my rig to follow the ship go out. And I felt so bad. And then, of course, the Disney Adventure was almost like 2 hours later than we thought she was going to be. So it was pitch black by the time the ship went by. And the ship was very dark. When they barely had any lights on. It was like they were trying to sneak out. Don't anybody look at us. We're just the biggest ship here, just sneaking out into the night. Nothing to see here. That's literally what the Disney Adventure looked like. So, yeah, so thank you to everybody who actually stuck with us on that one. Because that was well over 3 hours of live streaming for like 10 minutes of a ship going by. So I haven't talked that. Tony's like, wow, man, you really talked. I'm like, I know. We just kept chatting, and it was an absolute blast. I got to spend the whole afternoon with Tony. He is the nicest guy. I love hanging out with him. It's been almost a year since we've had a chance to actually hang out together. We didn't realize that until I was like, man, it's been since the Valentine's cruise since I've seen him. So, but that will all change in April. We're going to be with them for 7 days on the ship. Can't wait. We were talking a little bit about, some of the events that we're going to be doing and things like that. So very excited about that. Hopefully those of you who are coming on the La Lido Loca group cruise have signed up for your dinners with Tony. In fact, let me go ahead and put that up on the screen. There's actually still space on that one if y'all want to come join us. La Lido Loca, the Norwegian Jewel, sailing out of Philadelphia on April 16th through the 23rd of 2026. We're going to Bermuda overnight. Then we're going to head over to Charleston, and I got to tell you, Charleston is probably now my favorite. Well, Boston may still be my favorite, but Charleston may be my favorite U.S. port right now. It is such a beautiful port stop to go to. I cannot wait to go back to Charleston. We're going to be with Tony and Jenny B from La Lido Loca. We have 3 sea days, count them, 3 sea days. So we're going to have a group event on each of those 3 sea days. Of course, we're going to have the embarkation check-in, so you'll see them there. And a lot of us are getting into Philadelphia. So the cruise is on Thursday. A lot of us are getting into Philadelphia like Monday, Tuesday, to spend a few days in Philadelphia. Rebecca, you got paper. Please write this down. Flagship Escapes, good morning. Write that down. Thank you so much. So for those of you who were tuned in for my live stream the other day, Flagship Escapes was a huge help. They were listening in on the VHF channel on the communication between the ship and shore to let us know when that, because we were literally getting ready to shut down the live stream. We're like, all right, we'll give it 15 minutes. It was 15 minutes. We're getting ready to shut down. And Flagship Escapes comes in and starts giving us all this information back and forth on what was going on, what the communication with the ship and the shore. So thank you so much, Flagship Escapes. If you're watching on TikTok, please follow Flagship Escapes. Such a huge help. Thank you again. I'm so glad you popped in, because I need to follow you as well. So absolutely fabulous coming in. So yeah, so we were literally hanging there waiting for the adventure to come out. And since the adventure's not on schedule, she could come out, she could stay in, she could come out, she could stay in, whatever they wanted to do. And it was great because we had multiple people watching the PTZ feed, the live feed on YouTube. Flagship Escape was listening in on that. I know it is fun to hang out with cruise nerds. I mean, it takes an absolute nerd to stand on the shore for 3 hours to wait for a ship to come by that you're not even going to be on.
Oh, I was so happy I stayed home.
I know, but I may never see the ship again. I don't know if we're going to make it to Singapore.
I get that.
I know, it would be nice to be down there and actually see her come out in the daylight. But since she's not on the schedule, you just never know what is going to happen. Hey, Emily, how are you? Hey, Dennis, how are you? How are you? Calgar has seen that people are posting that they're stuck at the airport. Yeah, I know. I'm wondering what will the cruise line do for their embarkation today. The cruise line's not going to do anything, really. The cruise line's under no obligation to do anything for anybody who is stuck. Now, if you book the flights through the cruise line, that is when, oh boy, TikTok is having a problem. Sorry about that over on TikTok. I see you guys keep losing the connection. I don't know what's going on over there with the Wi-Fi. That is really weird. But if you book the flights through the cruise line, now the cruise line will redirect you, or they could redirect you to the next port. That is like the one big exception to picking up the ship at the next port. If you book the flights through them, then sometimes they will redirect you to a flight that will pick up the ship at the first port. But if you're independent flights, it's very hard to get that arrangement. That is definitely not a guarantee. But if you book the flights through the cruise line, sometimes they will offer to fly you to wherever the ship is going in.
And not all cruise line book flights are created equal. Some of their air departments are much more helpful when problems arise than others.
Yeah. Jennifer's wondering how many people are going to miss their cruises. I'm telling you, it's a big thing. This is one of those things that people just don't think about when they say, well, I don't need travel insurance. Yeah, you do. You need travel insurance on every single cruise because, as I always say, you do not need travel insurance until you need travel insurance. And if you're trying to get to a ship today, you probably wish you had travel insurance. So, yeah, it's... it all depends. And Calgary is saying that they had a ship wait for them in Copenhagen because a couple of flights were delayed. If there are enough people on the planes coming in through the cruise line, then the cruise line will make every effort to try to hold the ship, because they'd rather hold the ship than have to fly you to the first port, wherever the ship is going. So that can happen. Getting some love for that live stream. Thank you, guys. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We were just babbling and babbling and babbling. So, Alex wants to know, are we still able to book the pre-cruise tours? If you're talking about Philadelphia, absolutely. Yeah, the links are still live. There is a tour company up in Philadelphia called We Venture, I think is what it's called. And it's 10% off. Everybody who's in the Philadelphia group cruise, you get 10% off all the tours in Philadelphia. So yeah, so I know I've sent the links a couple of times. And so you can still do it. I think I forgot it yesterday. I sent out, if you're on that Philadelphia cruise, and you should have gotten an email yesterday. Everybody should have gotten an email yesterday with links to book the transfers from the 2 group hotels over to the ship. And you need to make sure you book the right one, because the bus is going from the hotel directly to the ship. It's not going to both hotels, just going directly to it. So I just arranged that. So we're going to have the bus all set up, ready to go. Where are the signups? Yeah, so the signups, I sent the link. It's actually an Eventbrite link. So Kathy, if you need the link again, just drop me an email and I'll send it back. Tim, you just got home last night from your 7-day cruise on Virgin. Thanks for setting it up. Now time to start figuring out your next cruise. I know. Yeah, that's the worst part about any cruise, right? You're coming back. I'm glad you had a good time on Virgin. Virgin Voyages is a really interesting cruise line. So many people think it's not for them. It probably is. Really, if you just want to cruise without kids, it's for you. That's pretty much all there is to it. At least give it a try. So, yeah. So, Aaron, hey, man, I'm glad you're going to be coming with us to Philadelphia. TikTok is having major issues today. Oh, thank you, Barbara. Yeah, you know, what I noticed is that I could not launch my live stream. I had a live stream schedule and I couldn't launch it, so I just had to do it. Well, you know, now it's owned by an American company, so there you go. So now we're going to have all kinds of fun with it. Oh, man. Hey, Brian, how are you? Oh, man. You're committed to a Christmas cruise. You know, my Cunard experience last month was nice, but not 100% positive. It was 95% positive. So, yeah, it was a really good cruise. It's just, you know, some of the main dining room experiences were not as good as they could have been. But overall, I tell you, I wish every ship, I wish Carnival and Margaritaville and everybody else who has that Spirit class ship would take a look at what they did with the back of the Queen Elizabeth and the way that they redid that whole shaded area back there by the pool. It is gorgeous, and every one of those ships could do it. It's just an absolutely beautiful space. So, yeah. If you want to do white glove experience, well, Cunard, that would be up in the grills. But even there, it's still not, you know, it's not like a Regent or a Silver Sea. If you want true white glove experience, then you want to be on Silver Sea Regent, maybe Crystal as well. Yeah, those would be the two. If you want that true white glove, or we're going to be treated, you know, we just like we're in a luxury resort. Those are probably the 3 that I'd be looking at. Cunard is really good, and the grills experience is amazing. But you're still on a big ship with a lot of people. So usually that white glove experience comes from getting into a more intimate, smaller venue, if you will. And so that would be Silver Sea, Regent, and what was the other one I just said? I said 3. Silver Sea, Regent, something else. What did I say? Oh my God, I'm just doing it. Bill's fan, having travel insurance is good. Not needing or using travel insurance is awesome. Exactly. It's the one thing you pay for that you hope you never have to get. And, you know, we talk about annual travel insurance quite a bit on here. And I think the one thing that so many people don't realize, and even those who buy it from us or that we talk about it, don't realize that it's not just for cruises. It's not just for big trips. At least the one that we have and the one that we sell from Allianz. The minute you go 100 miles away from your house, that travel insurance is now active. So if you're on a road trip If you're flying across country, you've got a big family reunion happening in Las Vegas. You have a girls' trip happening here or there. All of these trips are covered the moment you go 100 miles from your house. So it's not just about covering cruises and land tours and big vacation. That annual insurance is actually in effect for the entire year. You just got to go 100 miles away from your house. So let's, you go somewhere and either you have an accident or whatever, your car insurance isn't going to cover it all. There's a possibility you can make a claim with Allianz to cover the rest of it. Or, you can't make it to your big girls trip out in Las Vegas and now you're out like $800 for the hotel. Well, you might be able to make a claim with Allianz for whatever. So that's the thing about getting annual insurance. Then you really don't have to think about it because you've got the annual coverage, and anytime I go away, I'm covered for the year. So it's really, really good. So, oh yeah, Explorer is the other one. Explorer is not exactly white glove service, but it's really, really good service. It's really, really nice service. Yeah, that's Crystal. Crystal was the one I mentioned. Yeah, so Crystal is where you're going to get the white glove service. Explorer is also another really, really good one. You don't get white glove service, but you get really, really nice service, and you get amazing food as well. So, Aaron wants to know how's complimentary coffee on Norwegian. Terrible, not great. That's true of just about every cruise line for me.
Walter's very picky, mind you.
Yeah, MSC Cruises is the only cruise line where I will actually drink the coffee in the buffet.
Although you have made iced coffee from some buffet coffees.
Yeah, most of the buffet coffee, I'll make iced coffee out of it because at least I can make it drinkable with flavor. But if you're talking about just actual coffee, the only coffee that I will drink complimentary, Explora, the one in the buffet, and then MSC. But on the mainstream cruise lines, it's MSC. It's pretty good. So, Darla, Explorer 1 in San Juan in 36. San Juan and Miami in 36 days. Oh my gosh, that's going to be absolutely amazing. We came so close. With the big group cruise, which I'm actually going to go ahead and put it up there. I'm going to remind everybody that we have our big group cruise coming up on the Silver Sea Silver Ray in January of 27. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And Explorer was right there. We were looking at Explorer. We were looking at Crystal. We were looking Silver Sea. And we went with this particular cruise because this is 11 nights. It's going to be on the Silver Ray, and the entry level price is around $5,100 per person for 11 nights, and that's insane for Silver Sea. Like, you generally do not see, a rate that low for a Silver Sea for 11 nights, and so we decided to go with the Silver Sea Silver Ray, and then on top of that, we have the port stop in Deschamps, Guadeloupe, which is where one of our favorite shows, Death in Paradise, is filmed. So it's kind of a personal thing there too. And now we're finding out that we've got a lot of Death in Paradise fans among our clients, and they have an actual Death in Paradise tour, which all of us have already signed up for. So we're excited about that as well. So if you want to come join us on that one, it is the Silver Sea Silver Ray, January 5th through the 16th, 2027. Miami, San Juan, St. John, U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Kitts, Deschamps, Guadeloupe, Antigua, and Tortola. It's going to be an absolutely amazing cruise. We have all the details on our website, where'swaltertravel.com. Just click on the group travel, and all of our group cruises are in there. In fact, I have one more to add from Mindy. That's going to be on, I believe, the Star Princess, maybe it's Sun Princess, but one of the new Sphere class princesses going up there. But Silver Sea Silver Ray, January 5th through the 16th. We've already got a bunch of people excited about this one, including me. Very, very excited about this one. And I'll go through the rest of our group cruises very shortly. I want to make sure I haven't missed any questions. Have I missed any questions? I know y'all are talking about all this weather, which is just not fun right now. And I feel bad for everybody who is involved with all of that right now. It's like the worst thing in the world, right? You got this whole vacation plan. You've probably been planning for it for a year, waiting for it for a year, and then the weather just comes in like this. And I think one of the best pieces of advice is, if you see something like this coming and you have the wherewithal and the ability, get out of Dodge early. Like, get to that port city 2 or 3 days early if you have the wherewithal and you can do it. I know a lot of, sometimes you just can't do that. Like, you got work, you got other obligations, costs, things like that. But if you see something like this coming and you can alter your plans to get to wherever you need to get to earlier, so at least you're there, that's really the best advice that I could give you. So, Barbara, what is, that's an easy one for me, but you got to have a long day. Barbara is asking, what is the best excursion for Tortola? So, there is a charter catamaran there called the Daydream. It's part of Curlew, I think is their name, but it's called the Daydream catamaran. Now, she does a full 8-hour snorkeling excursion. You leave, it's like 15 people, 12, like around a dozen people, maximum. Now, you can do a private charter and just, book. I mean, it is a private charter, but, you're booking it with other people. But you can also book it privately. And it's approximately 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Right in there, 9 a.m., 4:30, somewhere in there. So your ship has to be in port long enough. Now, when we were on the Queen Elizabeth, she was in port long enough to allow us to do this. You can also do a private charter, like if you get a couple other people who want to do it, you can actually charter it yourself, and then you would be able to set the time and say, we've got to be back in port by 3 o'clock because you're now chartering the boat. But we've done that twice now, and it is just an absolutely beautiful charter. There's 2 or 3 snorkel stops depending on the day. They provide a full lunch. It is absolutely wonderful. Again, the name of the boat is called the Daydream. And it's about not even 10 minutes, right? It was a quick walk from the pier.
Depending on how fast you walk, I'd say 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah. It's a very short walk from the pier. It's very easy to get to. So that is absolutely beautiful if you do it. If you don't have the time, I don't really have another suggestion because we haven't done anything else in Tortola. That's like the 2 things we've done over there. So yeah. So, but that Tortola, oh man, it's absolutely beautiful if you have the time. When we were on our NCL cruise, we didn't have the time to do it. We left at like 2 o'clock. So in the case where you've got a short port stop like that, you're going to leave early, then you got to do it through the cruise line. And I'm sure the cruise lines offer some snorkeling as well. Just unfortunately, sometimes they're on these much bigger boats, not quite as enjoyable as going on a much smaller catamaran. Like you see them, right? You see them going out with like 200 people. I like to go on the smaller catamarans with like 12 to 20 people. Those are much more fun. So, Captain Pop, how are you, man? You're on the Excel in March, and you booked the Icon while you were in Florida. Nice. The Icon of the Seas is absolutely spectacular. It's now my favorite class of ship with Royal, which is kind of weird because I love the small ships so much. But Royal Caribbean did such an amazing job basically taking the Oasis class and just fixing it and making the flows so much better and making the venues so much nicer. And it feels kind of like an adult Royal Caribbean ship. Even though it's a family ship, it feels more adult. There's some celebrity elements that were brought into it. I just think the Icon class is absolutely stunning. They did a beautiful, beautiful job with it. So, Brian wants to know, what is your favorite Christmas cruise? So we've done 3 of them now. 3 in a row, actually. The first year, it was Oceania on the Serena, which is like around 700 passengers. Last year, 2 years ago now, it was on the Azamara Journey, which is a sister to the Oceania Serena. They have 670 passengers in their configuration. And then this past year, we did the Queen Elizabeth. I would say for the overall Christmas vibe, the Queen Elizabeth was amazing. I mean, they know how to do Christmas. They really know. There was like just so much Christmas going on there. Now, Oceania had Christmas cookies out, like 24/7.
Yes.
That wins for Christmas cookies. And it was so cute because they had the big gingerbread village, and then they just had Christmas cookies, and they would have like 8 different kinds of cookies out there.
Trays of cookies.
Yeah, and it was that was awesome. But overall, I would say my favorite Christmas cruise so far has been on Azamara, just because they did such a lovely job with the Christmas show. It really was almost like a High School Musical, like they wrote it themselves. And they said that every ship writes their own. There's no like set Christmas show. Every ship makes up their own, and they just kind of do it.
Hey guys, let's put on a show.
Yeah, and it really felt like it too. It was so cute. It was so adorable. It was so fun. So in terms of a Christmas show, Azamara, absolutely. But the overall Christmas vibe, if Queen Elizabeth had Christmas cookies sitting out there, they would have won. And that's the only thing they were missing. But it was such a lovely Christmas vibe on there. It was so much fun. So much fun. Kurt saying that MSC has good coffee and pizza and gelato, absolutely. And of course, you got to get the affogato. If you're going on MSC, you got to get an affogato. If you're saying, Walter, what is an affogato? That is espresso with a scoop of gelato. So awful fun, just an awful lot of fun. I love it. I love it. But yeah. All right, anything else over here that I have missed? I want to make sure. Yeah, I can see TikTok's very quiet today. I don't know if we're being fed out the way we're supposed to be fed out, but it is what it is. You know, we have no control over it, so I'm not going to fret about it. Y'all are over here on YouTube, so we're having a good time, and Facebook, so we're having a good time over here. All right. So the second topic, Disney World. Oh, Disney World is awesome at Christmas. I wonder what a Disney cruise would be like. I can tell you that a Disney cruise at Christmas would be absolutely amazing, Kurt, because we were on it for Halloween. Halloween was amazing, just the way they had the whole ship done up. The costumes that the guests were coming on with were equal to or better than the actual Hollywood costumes, you know, from the movies. It was amazing. And Disney knows how to do Christmas. Plus, if you go on for Christmas, you get to see Stephanie's work. She had a big hand in a lot of the animations and the show going on the screen. During the live show, they do these big Christmas shows out by the Funnel Vision. And I know she did a lot of help with that back there, so that's a lot of her work back there. I see TikTok lost the connection again, so I don't really know what's going on.
I'm not losing.
You're still on?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So maybe it's just wrong up there. But yeah, a Disney cruise at Christmas would be amazing. And those of you who are adults, you have to understand Disney is an amazing adults-only cruise line as well. They have a adults-only area. They have a whole separate pool. They have an evening district or area that's just for you. And if you pay for a specialty restaurant, children are not allowed in those specialty restaurants. So you can have an adults-only dinner in the specialty dining restaurant.
And I will say, they do Christmas more than just Christmas week. So you just look for any of the Merry Christmas time sailings. And the ones that aren't actually on Christmas week or one of the weeks right around there are probably going to be a bit more affordable, at least in Disney terms.
And Disney is among the most expensive cruise lines out there. So you have to decide, is it really worth it for what they give you? I mean, they do give you some amazing food. They give you amazing service. Their rooms tend to be larger than everyone else because they're designed for families. So it is a beautiful cruise line to go on. We want to go on the Destiny. We're going to try and arrange a time where we can go, Stephanie can go, because I really want to go with Stephanie to get on that ship. Just doing Disney stuff with Stephanie is just so much more fun with Stephanie. So we're going to try to do that, definitely. But shoveling snow in Ohio, man, I know. Brandy was late to the party because they were shoveling snow in Ohio. Oh my gosh. Well, let's get on to our second topic real quick. Let me switch this out. Whoops. There we go. Wi-Fi. There's a big discussion we have too a lot, is Wi-Fi. Is it a necessity or a nuisance? So think about that. Necessity or a nuisance? What say you? And while you're thinking on that, I'm going to walk you through our group cruises, and then we're going to come back and have this discussion about Wi-Fi. Now, I'm in a weird position because I have to work from the ship. So, of course, I'm going to say, yay, Wi-Fi is a necessity for me. But it become a topic of discussion because one cruise line has really pushed out the price. It is starting to get really expensive for Wi-Fi. So at some point, you have to say, well, is it still worth it to have the Wi-Fi on a ship? But I'm going to run down our group cruises. Now, if you'd like to come sail with Rebecca and I, or possibly our associate Mindy, or Tony and Jenny B, you want to know anything about all of these group cruises that I'm about to walk you through, you just simply go to our website, where'swaltertravel.com. Click on Group Travels right there at the very top of the screen. It's in the menu, and you will find the links to every single one of these group trips. I'm going to kind of run you through these, and then we're going to talk about Wi-Fi. Yeah, because Wi-Fi is a big one. But the Silver Sea Silver Ray, going to hit that one again. January 5th through the 16th, 2027. I want to say the rates are starting around $5,100, $5,200 per person, which is incredible for Silver Sea. Silver Sea is basically all-inclusive. There's two different levels of this you can do. You can do all-inclusive. That does not include shore excursion credit, or you can do it with shore excursion credit, and you can have a refundable or non-refundable deposit. But most everything is included on the cruise for about $5,100 per person for 11 nights. It's going to be insane. Silver Sea Silver Ray, January 5th through the 16th, 2027. Miami, San Juan, St. John, U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Kitts, Deschutes, Guadeloupe, Antigua, Tortola. We're calling it the Death in Paradise Tour because Deschutes, Guadeloupe is where the BBC series is shot, and there is an excursion directly through Silver Sea to go see all of the filming locations, which we've already signed up for, right? Yes, we have already signed up for. Yay, it's so exciting. And then, of course, we're going on the Christmas time on the Rhine with Avalon Waterways. This is going to be in December of 2027, December 7th through the 14th, 2027. Now, those dates are important because that means you will be home for Thanksgiving, you will be home for Christmas, you can go to Europe and buy all the Christmas presents and make your entire family upset with you and jealous because you're the one who went to Europe and got all these really cool presents and nobody else did. So we're going to be starting out in Basel, Switzerland. We go to Brisach, Kiel, which is your gateway to Strasbourg, Ludwigshafen, Rudesheim, Cologne, Mainz, and Frankfurt. 7 nights on the Avalon View. We picked the Avalon View for a very specific reason because it has wall-to-wall, floor-to-ceiling glass, and your bed faces the glass. This ship does not have balconies in the individual rooms. You don't need balconies in the middle of winter, but you can slide open 2/3 of that glass if you want to have a French balcony and at least see what's going on outside and feel that nice cold air come into your room.
Be invigorated.
Yeah, and our savings are around $700 per person below what the current rates are because we locked in. Until we sell out, we are locked in with our rates, and we currently have approximately 71 people going on this cruise. The ship holds about 140, 150 people. We got about half the ship already. We'd love to take over, say, 3/4 of the ship if we could. So if you want to come join us, Christmas time on the Rhine, December 7th through the 14th, 2027 on the Avalon View, it is going to be spectacular. As a reminder, if you want to cruise with Stephanie, Stephanie is currently scheduled to be on this trip. Of course, if the mouse has other plans, she won't be able to be there, but as of right now, she is booked on the trip. She's in the room right next to us, so hopefully she will be able to come as well. It's going to be so much fun. Well, it's probably too late for Hawaii, but I think...
I looked this morning on the public site, and there were interiors still available. They may well be guarantees. I didn't go far enough into it. But
So
the
if you're
only
not
thing
doing
left
anything
is
in
interiors.
2 weeks, you can come with us, February 4th through the 20th. If you're not doing anything, you want to come out to LA, Rebecca's saying that she saw there were still interiors available on this cruise. This is the Emerald Princess sailing 16 days round trip. Hey, if it's snowing where you are and you want to get away from the snow, come on to Hawaii with us. In about 2 weeks, February 4th through the 20th. LA, Honolulu, Hilo, Kahulu, Kauai, and then Ensenada. Again, Rebecca thinks that there are some interiors left on this one.
Like
Emerald Princess
possibly
leaving February 4th.
guarantees. I didn't go far enough in to tell, but
Yeah.
there are some available.
And then Philadelphia, April 16th through the 23rd. We definitely got room. There's not a lot of room left on this ship, but there's still room left on the Norwegian Jewel. This will be 7 nights. Philadelphia, Bermuda, Charleston, South Carolina. The big deal about this one is the first cruise out of Philadelphia in like nearly 20 years, something like that. That's why Tony wanted to do it. He's like, we got to be on the first cruise. We got to be on the first cruise. So we're doing it. We have 3 sea days, so there will be an event on each of the 3 sea days with Tony and Jenny B from La Lido Loca. So you will have plenty of opportunity to hang with them. Plus, everybody can sign up for one group dinner in the main dining room. And those are being capped at 68 people, so it's not going to be the whole 200 trying to all have dinner and talk to Tony at the same time. It's going to be a much smaller group. So you will have Plenty of time to catch up with Tony and Jenny B on the ship, and they do not hide in their room. You will find them out and about on the ship the whole time. So April 16th through the 23rd, Norwegian Jewel out of Philadelphia.
Although Jenny may well be in the casino a good chunk.
I'm sorry?
Jenny may well be in the casino a good chunk.
Yeah, so if you want to hang with Jenny, go in the casino. In October of this year, wow, we got so many things going on. October 23rd of 2026, we are heading to Italy. We're doing the best of Italy and Croatia on the Celebrity Constellation. On Tony's live stream this past week, he did reveal he's actually going on this one as well. Him and Jenny B are coming with us on this as good friends. We're just so excited that they're coming with us. I know Tony's wanted to do a cruise like this, and we were talking about it. I'm like, come on, Tony, you should come on this one. So he is. So he's joining us. This is going to start in Ravenna. So that is about 3.5 hours outside of Venice. We're going to go to Split, Dubrovnik, Kotor, Messina, Salerno, Portofino, La Spezia, Civitavecchia. Civitavecchia will be your gateway to get up to Rome. And that's about an hour away from Rome. And this is October 23rd through November 2nd of 2026. We got a nice group of around 36 people going on this one. And on November 2nd, the group cruise will end in Civitavecchia. You can either exit the ship at that point, or if you'd like to do the back-to-back, like Rebecca and I are going to do, we're going to be on for the full 25 days. There is a 15-day transatlantic crossing starting on November 2nd. That will take you through Spain. We'll go through Valencia, Cartagena, Malaga, Tangier, St. Martin before we end up in San Juan. So that is an optional back-to-back. But the primary cruise is Best of Italy and Croatia, October 23rd through November 2nd of 2026. You should be coming on that one. That is going to be spectacular. We've also put together a 6-day custom land tour prior to the cruise if you wanted to do that. And you can book that in 2 different options. We have one option that actually has a bunch of tours already built into it, and then the other one is just simply the hotels and the transportation. So we're going to be spending, I believe, 3 nights in Rome, 2 nights in Venice, and then 1 night in Ravenna. We're actually going to get out to Ravenna, so we're there the night before the cruise. So it's going to be a spectacular 6 days exploring Italy before we even get onto the ship. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see, and then Mindy, our colleague Mindy, is doing a really spectacular journey on the Sapphire Princess, November 22nd of 2026. She's going to do LA to Hawaii, but then the ship is going to continue on to Japan. It's going to end up in Tokyo, Japan. So this is really spectacular. 19-day cruise. You start out in LA, you go to Maui, Kilo, Kona, Honolulu, Nawiliwili, and you end up in Tokyo. So you're actually going to get 5 days in Hawaii before you take off for Tokyo. And the cruise will end in Tokyo, and you will be hosted by Mindy, the amazing Mindy, one of my awesome colleagues, along with Corey. She's hosting that one November 2nd through December 12th of 2026. That's going to be this year. And then my friend Chris over at Cruise Man's Garage. If you're a motorcycle geek, this would be the cruise for you. A bunch of motorcycle guys are going to get together January 30th through February 6th of 2027 on the all-new Norwegian Luna. Oh man, it's going to be a big, beautiful ship. Sailing out of Miami, Roatan, Carvis Key, Costa Maya, Cozumel. Chris hosts a channel. He's got over 75,000 subscribers talking about the Honda Gullwing. That is like his motorcycle, and he helps you to take care of that motorcycle. And a bunch of folks are getting together on the ship to have a great time. So there you go. So those are all of the group cruises. Again, if you go to where'swaltertravel.com/group travel, that is where you are going to find all of these. And there's another one from Mindy coming up that I will be posting as well. So, Alex, any plan for a late 2027 group cruise? Yeah, that's the Christmas cruise. That is the late 2027 cruise. We're not planning any others right now.
Yeah, I think we're going to try and limit it to, at least for our personal group cruises, 2 a year.
Yeah, 2.
Unless there's something extraordinary.
Alex, you can go on the Star Princess with Mindy in November of 2027. She mentions it up there. So Mindy is hosting a group cruise for Thanksgiving in 2027 on the Star Princess. So you could go on that one. And that link will be up on our site very shortly as well. So, but that's going to be us. That is going to be us for sure. So, All right, so my second topic, Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi. We get so much discussion about this from our clients. You know, is Wi-Fi included? How much is Wi-Fi? Should I get the Wi-Fi? How good is the Wi-Fi? There's so much that goes into it. And it was kind of sparked by the decision by Disney. We've been talking about Disney Cruise Line. They have raised the rate of premium Wi-Fi to $49 per person per day. There is no discount package available. So if you want the premium Wi-Fi, it's going to run you $49 per person per day. And it got me to thinking, it's like, how much is too much, right? And should Wi-Fi, and one of the questions that I would throw out there to you guys, do you guys think at this point, you know, Starlink is available, almost every ship has Starlink, almost every ship has all this new infrastructure and everything. Should they just roll the Wi-Fi, you know, like raise the cruise prices by like $5 a day or something like that, and just stick the basic Wi-Fi right in there so you don't even have to order it anymore? I'd be curious about that. But looking at, you know, price comparisons for the other cruise lines, let's see. So Princess is around $25 per day for the basic Wi-Fi. Now the high speed is only available through Plus and Premier, so that's going to run you $65 a day, but that also gives you the prepaid gratuity, gives you the drink package, it gives you the 4 meals, and it gives you the waived delivery charges. Carnival is, the value starts at $24 a day, and the premium starts around $25.50 a day. That's definitely a good value. Royal Caribbean, the Voom Surf package starts around $16 a day, and Surf and Stream around $24 a day. So Disney is like double the price of everybody else for the premium Wi-Fi. I mean, that's getting up there. You know, on Virgin they have Surf from Sea or Work from Sea or whatever the heck they call that super high speed thing. That is expensive, but it's also it's basically the same speed as what I get at home. So that's kind of what I'm paying for. So I'm kind of curious from you guys, like, is Wi-Fi a necessity? Is it a nuisance? Is it something like, well, if I have it, fine. If I don't have it, I don't care. Let's see, Mimi, as far as shipped Wi-Fi, I only use the shipped app and to send a random WhatsApp text from time to time, so a necessity for those reasons. Now, the thing about the cruise line apps is you can use those apps without buying the Wi-Fi. That's really the only thing you can do without buying the Wi-Fi. So all ship apps, you know, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, those apps will work on the ship the moment you connect to the Wi-Fi, whether you buy a package or not. So know that. Now, if you want to do something like WhatsApp, obviously you do have to have a package to do that. So feel like you do work on sea days to earn money for the next cruise, so Wi-Fi is necessary. That's hilarious. Yeah, so I guess I do the same thing. Well, you know, being a travel agent, I do have to stay connected, and we are literally about to be on the road for a month. We're taking off on January 31st. We will be back home on February 28th. So obviously, I have to have high-speed Wi-Fi. So for somebody like me, you know, good quality Wi-Fi is essential on a ship.
And for you also, you're, I mean, not a total outlier, but you need more than one device. And not every cruise line offers a multiple device package. In fact, when you were on Azamara, it confused them and was very difficult for you to get two devices.
Yeah, there's some cruise lines that don't understand. Even Margaritaville at Sea doesn't know how to do 2 devices for a single person. It confuses the heck out of them.
And admittedly, most people don't need to, because they just, if they have 2 devices, they just sign out of one and sign on to the other. But with Walter, he needs to be able to use his phone and his computer simultaneously.
Yeah, and that also brings up a good point for some cruise lines, like Royal Caribbean, Princess, I believe, too. But if you see a cruise line that's offering a multi-device package, you're going to find that is cheaper than buying a single device for each person. So like we've done it on ships where Rebecca and I will get like a 4-device package or a 2-device package. And usually the 4-device package, that's cheaper than getting high-speed Wi-Fi for myself and then getting high-speed Wi-Fi for Rebecca. So when you see those packages, it is almost always cheaper to get one person with multiple devices than it is to get multiple people with one device each. And this is really big. Like I booked ships with, you know, the parents and a child, the parents and 2 children. That's 4 devices. One person getting a 4-device package is a heck of a lot cheaper than getting 4 single-device packages. And the only caveat is everybody just has to log in as the same person, that's all. So if it's the mom who got the package for everybody, everybody's just gonna log into the Wi-Fi as the mom, that's it. You're all gonna be able to stream and to do whatever it is, use the internet as you see fit, but you're saving, I mean, sometimes it's like half the price to do something like that versus getting a single device for each person. So that's a great strategy for Wi-Fi and saving money on Wi-Fi. Just get one person, multiple devices if they offer it. Now, if you're on something like Azamara or Margaritaville, you might have to walk down to the Wi-Fi desk and explain it very slowly so that they understand.
And even then, you might have to go back
even
3
then,
or 4
it's like,
times.
no, I'm a single person, I need 2 devices. Why do you need 2 devices?
And we were actually surprised. We were looking for our upcoming Norwegian Encore cruise. Norwegian does not offer a multi-device package.
They don't.
So we're going to have to figure that out once we get on the ship.
Yeah. So Betty has a good point. Depends on the number of port days. If there's more port days, they don't need it as much because they'll use the Wi-Fi in port. We happen to have T-Mobile for our phone service, and T-Mobile allows us to use our phones in 175 countries. I get free data, so I can do texting and stuff all day long without making a call. So that is really, really good. So, yep. Brandy's saying during the cruise they don't use the Wi-Fi. It's time to check out, and then if they need it, they can check the ports. Alex says it's a necessity, especially when traveling solo. I mean, one of the nice thing about the Wi-Fi, and especially if you're on with a group or you meet people on the ship, WhatsApp has become so ubiquitous, right? Just to go ahead and chat back and forth. Makes it super easy. So then, of course, you need the Wi-Fi there.
Particularly since quite often, for whatever reason, on cruise ships, it seems like texting between iPhones and Androids does not always work.
It doesn't always work, no.
So
You can't cross
WhatsApp
the
is a good
streams.
kind of gap for everybody,
It really
no
is.
matter
It
what
really
platform
is.
you use.
Yeah. So, Betty, I'd rather get Wi-Fi than the drink package or dining. See, I'll disagree there. I would rather get a dining package. I will take food over Wi-Fi every time.
Yeah, but you can't do that now.
I know.
You have
Now
to.
I gotta have the Wi-Fi. Whose idea was it to start this whole travel? Oh, me, right? It was my idea. So, Nene, Wi-Fi isn't a big thing for you. You try to limit your phone use and unplug. I wish I could unplug. I actually am doing a better job of it now. I am getting away from it a little bit more. That's thanks in large part to having Corey and Mindy now, knowing that if something really comes up, I can pass it on to them and they can take care of it. So as we start to build the company, that is the goal, that I can start to step back a little bit more. Because, we got some big stuff coming up. Anybody who's trying to make an appointment for me while I'm gone, you're going to notice I have very limited availability. Like when I'm in Hawaii, you can't get in touch with me at all. When I'm in Disneyland, I've closed all my schedules just because I've never been to Disneyland. I've never been to Hawaii. I need to make sure I actually experience these things. So it's going to be important. Wow. The wind is suddenly kicking up. Here comes the cold, I guess. I don't know. It just suddenly got very noisy behind me. Brian's asking a great question. This is for us both. Oh, let me just get this off the screen right now. Yeah, if you see a house go flying by behind me, just let me know. See if Dorothy goes by. But Brian is asking, we've been on a lot of cruises and we got a lot of cruises lined up. Please talk for a minute or two about your love of cruising. What keeps you coming back? I can tell you the number one thing that keeps me coming back is the crew. The crew makes you feel so special when you get on board. And, I love the variety. I love the variety of the ships. There's certain people who are, I'm loyal to Royal or I'm on Carnival. I'm trying to get to Diamond and all of this stuff. I'm not loyal. I'm loyal to the sea, I think, more than anything else. I love that there's so much variety and so many styles in cruising. I don't expect anybody to be like anybody else. When you go on to Cunard, Cunard is Cunard. When you go on to Margaritaville, they are Margaritaville. When you go on to Princess, they are Princess. And the experiences are going to be similar, but different. Every ship, getting on the ship is basically the same. Getting off the ship is basically the same. it's that experience when you're actually on the ship. And there's just something about, I love meeting the crew. I love meeting our room stewards. I love meeting, I usually get to know the baristas. In fact, there's one set of baristas on Virgin Voyages. I've done 3 cruises with them now, and it's just so awesome. It's like, hey, guys, how are you? It's good to see you. But it's just so fun when you start connecting with some of those crew members, and you just kind of get to know them, and it's even more so than staying in a hotel or going to a resort. It seems like the crew really tries to connect with you on a cruise ship because that's what they're used to, and they know that, hey, we're all together for 7 days, for 10 days, for 14 days, whatever it is. And it's remarkable to me that they can remember your name. It's also remarkable to me that so many of them, you know how hard it is to learn another language? And, most of these people are from other countries, and it's just amazing to me that they can speak English, and that they speak it better than I do half the time. And just being at sea, that's my absolute favorite thing. It's just being on a cruise ship. One word, sea days. I love sea days. I love it. Like in Hawaii, we're going to have an aft cabin, which is my absolute favorite thing in the world, just to sit out there and watch the wake. So I love ships, I love the ocean, and I really love meeting the crew. And we've met a lot of new friends. It seems like we meet more people on cruise ship than we do in any other type of traveling. So it's really cool. But what about you, Rebecca? Why do you keep going cruising?
Well, I do like just kind of the relaxing nature of being at sea. And kind of personally, selfishly, one of the things I like is I don't have to plan meals, I don't have to cook meals, I don't have to clean up after meals, I don't have to clean my house, I don't have to do any of that. I can just kind of relax.
Yeah. It's it's incredibly relaxing on a ship. The ship can be as active or as chill as you want it to be, and especially as you start getting down. That's one of the reasons why I'm really liking the small ship. Like when you go onto the Azamara ships, those are old ships, they're like 25 years old, and there is a real classic nature about them that is fabulous. The old promenade with the lifeboats hanging above you, and you're sitting there, and you're so close to the water. I mean, you are really close to the water when you get on those smaller ships. Even the Cunard Queen Elizabeth promenade is low; it's down by the water, and it's just. And then you go on something like Star of the Seas, ultra modern, big. We got Back to the Future, we've got the water show, we got the ice skating show, and it's fun. It's just like really fun. So I don't know. I just really enjoy seeing all the different ships and exploring all the different opportunities that we have. What a cool way to go see the world. It really is a cool way to see the world. So, yeah. So I hope that answers your question. But there has not been a cruise or a cruise ship that we did not enjoy to the point that we would not go back on that same ship. There's been some that we like more than others, of course, but there's no ship that we've sailed that we wouldn't go back on.
Sometimes I think you and I just aren't that picky.
Well, that's the big thing. If
or
you
we're willing to kind of take each thing as it is and go with the flow.
Yeah, you just kind of got to roll with it. You just kind of got to roll. That's the big thing about cruising. You got to roll with it. I see some of these things. There's so much manufactured drama now in social media. I saw one set of vloggers who typically do Disney a lot, who absolutely slammed Virgin Voyages for lying about the type of cabin that they thought they were going to get, and it's because they didn't understand what guarantee meant. And I see other people absolutely slamming, this, that, oh, this was horrible, this was just a pit. I see travel agents, out there now, this cruise line lied to us and we will never book them again. And it's like, no, they didn't lie to you. You just didn't read it correctly, or you didn't understand what they were saying. There's so much manufactured drama now on all the social channels just to get the clicks. I mean, that's what they're really doing. They're trying to get the clicks, they're trying to get the views, because they're earning money from YouTube, from TikTok, from all of these. We're earning very little money from the social media side. We use the social media side to try to pass along useful information and then to try to take you along on our journeys. And in fact, to that end, I'm bringing on 2 video editors so I can start getting more of our content out. I have stuff from Oceania 2 years ago that hasn't even been edited yet. I have a whole food tour of the Oceania Serena that hasn't even been edited. Oceania Riviera, Star of the Seas. I have all these food tours that I just haven't had time to edit. So good morning, Gary. How are you? I'm bringing on a couple of video editors. So over the next couple of months, we're going to start ramping up more of our content to get it out there so y'all can see it. So, but yeah, so that's why I like cruising. I just really enjoy getting out there and seeing the ships, and there is nothing so bad that I'm going to come on here and tell you, don't go, even MSC, we talk about MSC, the service is very inconsistent, the food is very inconsistent. But if you know that going in, you know what to expect, and then you also know that the pools are just spectacular. They're some of the best pools out there in the cruise industry. The ship is gorgeous, the coffee is just righteous, and the pizza is really, really good too. So you take the good with the bad, And we're not big on the shows on MSC, so we don't go to the shows on MSC, but we love the ships. The ships are great.
And even the ships that have some of our personal least favorite food, we've never, ever gone hungry.
No,
ever.
even on Cunard Christmas Day, when my meal was completely screwed up, we just went up to the buffet. Your meal was good.
Yeah.
I just went up to the buffet and got something to eat. And it was like, okay, well, that was a terrible meal, but let's move on and go get something else because there's a whole buffet sitting upstairs with more food.
There's bound to be at least something that you will find acceptable somewhere on any ship.
Yeah.
It may not be the most exciting thing, but you'll find something to eat.
Find something to eat, yeah. Alex, thank you for the kind words. Kudos to you for the Virgin Voyages interview with the CEO. You forgot that Virgin doesn't charge tips on board for onboard purchases. They do, they just put it in the price so you're not surprised. It's not $7 plus gratuities. The $7 has the gratuity already built into it. So it's like, we took care of it for you. That's like the worst thing in the world, you get a bottle of water for $2 and there's 18% gratuity on that, by the way. It's like, really? For a bottle of water that he just handed to me? But yeah, that was a real, Nirmal Savaramutu, I think I'm finally getting it. It's just one of the nicest people you will ever meet, the cruise industry, whatever. He's just one of the nicest people you will ever meet. If he sees you on board, he will probably come over and talk to you, to the dismay of his handlers who are trying to move him on to the next thing. Nirmal loves to talk to everybody. But he's an incredibly genuine person. I still question the whole voyage fare move and some of the changes they made. I know it came from a good place. I know they think it's better for the sailors, and Nirmal will always try to do what's right for the sailors. And they do truly listen. They've been making some changes behind the scenes. We're dealing with some issues behind the scenes, not of their making, but he is just really, what you saw on camera was not an act. That is how he is. Doesn't matter where you see him, whether he's talking to me, whether he's talking to a sailor. He is just one of the nicest people in the industry, and I'm really glad I got a chance to spend 20 minutes with him. If you have not seen the interview, it's on our YouTube channel. It's about 20 minutes long, and it's just a good, wide-ranging interview. Gary is saying that the specialty dining on MSC was great. It is. Actually, specialty dining is really good on MSC. It's the main dining room that can be really, the main dining room, our experience on it was like, today is like absolutely amazing. And then tomorrow it's like, are we actually in the same place we were eating yesterday?
Yeah, and one of the more interesting things to me, I guess you should say, is that literally in the same cruise, somewhere towards the beginning of the cruise, I had the pasta al olio, which is olive oil and garlic. It was amazing. It was so good. And then later on in the cruise, I had it again, and it was eh.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It wasn't terrible. It was eh.
Yeah. So yeah.
So same dish, same cruise.
But it's still the cruise where I had my favorite main dining room experience ever, where one night the menu was apparently especially bad. And my server just made it so memorable because everything I picked, she'd go, And I picked something up, But she just she wouldn't actually say no. She would just give me that head shake, like no. And then I would finally I picked and I just started laughing. And so it's like point. It's like she didn't want to say anything out loud, but it was the funniest. I think it's the most fun I've ever had in a main dining room with a bad menu, just because even the server was like, "You don't want anything on here tonight."
And I think that was because we had booked a Bella cabin, which is basically guaranteed. We were unable to pick dining times at all.
Yeah.
So we ended up with 9:45.
No, that wasn't Bella. We were Fantastica, but we booked late, so we couldn't
No,
get in.
it was Bella.
That was Bella?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I thought we'd always picked
No.
Fantastica.
No, that was
I
Bella.
thought it was just because we booked late.
No, it was Bella.
So, and MSC has this thing where your main dining, like if for the later time, could be like 7:30 at night, or it could be 9:30 at night. We happened to get the 9:30 at night time.
Yeah.
Which ended up being a good thing, to
I
be
know.
honest with you.
We were disappointed, but it ended up working out.
Yeah, because on that particular cruise, only about half, like everybody showed up on the first night, and then after that, it was like only about half of the dining room started showing up. So we had a much smaller crowd that late at night. So I think that made the food a little bit better because they weren't preparing as much of it. So
And there was, the service was able to be fast, like the things didn't sit in the past, they got to you faster.
Yeah, it
So,
got to
because
us
we
real
did hear
fast.
from several people who had some of the earlier dining times where, they'd get dishes cold, they'd get dishes that had been sitting around for a
Yeah,
while.
yeah.
And we really didn't have that problem, and we didn't necessarily like
no.
everything we had, but it was always
It was always coming
warm.
out, yeah. And the seaside is where we literally had the bowling alley right above our heads. So that was actually kind of fun. So, we'd be there was that a strike? We were trying to like keep scores to what was going on over our heads. It was literally going on right over our heads, and it was hilarious. Once we figured out what it was like, what is that noise? It was the bowling alley, literally right above the dining room. I guess it's a good place to put it, right? It's not going to bother you. You're bothering people having dinner, but you're not bothering the people going to sleep. So that was just a really funny thing. Oh, my goodness gracious. So, all right, let's see. What other questions? If you guys have any questions about cruising, feel free to drop them in there. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Oh, Big Bob's going on the Sun, Princess, and then the World America. That's going to be amazing. That is going to be absolutely amazing. Yeah. Yeah, and I can see TikTok definitely having problems because we're not being fed out. But at least all y'all are here on YouTube. So this is awesome. I'm so glad to have you guys over here. Now, next Sunday, we will be traveling. So we won't be back here on the channel. I don't know. We won't be live again. So we're another reminder that on Thursday night, I will have Cheryl joining us from Silver Sea. So if you are Silver Sea curious and you want to learn more about this cruise line, which is essentially an all-inclusive cruise line, there is a butler in every single room. Somebody was talking earlier about white glove service. This is true white glove service. You have a butler in every single room. So Cheryl will be joining me at 8 p.m. Eastern Time this coming Thursday on YouTube only. This is only on the YouTube channel. We go for an hour. So Cheryl will be presenting some information about Silver Sea and then answering your questions. So this is a great opportunity. And I'm going to a travel conference at the end of February, our annual KHM Crystal Conference, where a lot of our travel partners will be there. And I'm going to be working on getting more of these travel partners lined up again. I'm already talking to a bunch of them, and they want to come on the show. So this is great. We're starting to get some more people lined up, like some of the river cruise lines are going to be coming on now, and some more of my land tour partners too. I'm trying to get more of my land tour partners to come on so y'all can meet them as well. But again, this coming Thursday night, January 29th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, I will have Cheryl joining me from Silver Sea. We will be talking about, we definitely will be talking about the group cruise that will be happening on the Silver Sea Silver Ray, and we'll be talking about all things Silver Sea. So if you have questions about Silver Sea and you want to talk directly to the cruise line, that would be your opportunity to do that. I see Alex wants to know, did all of the cruise lines open up the itineraries for late 27 and early 28? They're rolling out. I don't know if everybody got them out there, but they are rolling out slowly but surely, 27, 28. And also, when they're rolling out these itineraries, they're not rolling out all of them. Very often it's like, okay, here's Asia for 28, and then the Mediterranean 28. So they're not rolling them all out. The Caribbean tends to be first.
Although sometimes they will roll out the short Caribbean at a different time than they roll out the longer Caribbean cruises.
Especially Royal Caribbean's been moving a lot of their ships around. So, it all depends on, are they moving ships around, or are they just simply, re-announcing itineraries? So they're kind of rolling out piecemeal, and of course they don't all do it at the same time because they don't all want to step on each other. They want to have like, oh, Princess came out now, so everybody thinks about Princess, and then Royal comes out. But yeah, a lot of most of 27 is now out. 28, we're rolling out more and more. In fact, Rebecca and I are starting to look at 28 for some ideas for a group cruise in 28. We won't be announcing anything on that for a while, but we're starting to take a look at some of those itineraries. And but we have people booked in 28. The thing about these itineraries coming up so early, and I know some people are like, oh my God, 28. Those are the opportunities to book some of those big cruises, or maybe some of the trips that you've been thinking about, but are maybe a little bit more than what you want to spend, or maybe they're a little bit longer than what you've typically done in the past. And what's nice about that, then you've got 2 years to pay it down. That was one of the reasons why we launched the the Avalon so early, the Christmas time in the Rhine. We launched that almost 2 years, actually 2 years out, more than 2 years out, so that everybody would have 2 years to pay for it, because it is a bit more of an expense. Obviously, the cruise itself is expensive. Then you got to fly over to Switzerland, you got to fly back. So it will be a little bit more of an expensive trip overall, but it gives you time to pay it off rather than the short. So like this Christmas time on the Rhine, we probably would not have done it in 26, because even we wanted to have a little time to pay for this cruise versus trying to pay for it all at once. So
and a lot of particularly the smaller ships, if you wait too late to book it, your choice of cabins are going to be pretty minimal, and so it gives you the largest choice. I mean, it gives you the largest choice with any cruise line, but it's particularly important with the smaller ships. Or if you have families where you need so many cabins that are right next to each other, book as far out as possible. Or if you need an accessible cabin, it's much easier to do farther out than it is.
And now some cruise lines are not even requiring you to prove that you need the cabin too, which is kind of upsetting for me. It's like, if you're going to get because some folks have now figured out, and there are vloggers out there who talk about this too. It's like, oh, you can book an accessible cabin and you get a bigger room. It's like, that's not the point. That's not the point of that room. The point of that room, it's bigger so that a wheelchair can maneuver around in it. And that's why the room is bigger. And some cruise lines are now not even asking, and it just means that people are just taking the accessible room that don't need it. And that is so wrong. That is wrong on so many levels, that the only reason why somebody who doesn't need it should get it is because it's still available when the cruise sails and they move you into it, or you get it as a guarantee. That's the only. In fact, Stephanie had that happen one time on Virgin, and she actually gave it up because she's like, I really don't want this cabin. I want a normal cabin. But yeah, so Betty would love to see a Greek cruise or New Zealand. They're both on the list, that and Asia. Those three are big. For Greece, I'm looking very closely. I would love to see if we can't do it on Celestial. That would be a lot of fun. I think Celestial is such a cool little cruise line, different cruise line. But when we do Greece, I can tell you it'll be a small ship. It won't be one of the big ships, for sure. It might even be Azamara. Oh, gosh, we haven't even talked about Azamara. Azamara launched Azamara Forward, which they're going in and they're going to renovate all 4 of their ships. It's going to be amazing. And the Azamara Quest, is it the Quest that's getting the new room? The Quest, I believe it is. She's the one that has 12 decks. She is getting all new rooms, new suites up top. And in fact, she's getting exactly 2 panorama suites that are in the very front. That are going to be absolutely astounding, absolutely beautiful. But the Quest, who's going first? The Quest and, now I forgot. But all 4 ships are going to be renovated, and they are going to be gorgeous. Azamara is really doing an interesting thing. We thought, well, maybe they're going to do a new build. Maybe they're going to build some new ship. But right now, they've decided to invest the money into their current ship because those ships are gorgeous. They're lovely ships. They're not too big. They're small. They take advantage of the small size. Like they send those ships up the river in France and actually dock in Bordeaux. while the other big ocean liner ships are sitting, an hour and a half away. So that's like a 2.5 hour round trip that Azamara gets rid of because they literally dock right in the heart of Bordeaux. So they really love their very small ships, and so they're going to put a lot of money into these ships. They're renovating the public spaces. They're adding new restaurants. They're adding new bars. They're adding new rooms. They're refreshing all of the rooms. I mean, this is going to be a major renovation done on these ships, and when they come out of dry dock, they're going to be spectacular. And I believe it's the Quest that they're doing first, because she's going on a world cruise in 27. So I believe she's the one, or 28. And so she's the one going in first, and then there's another ship going in right behind her. It might be the Onward, and then the other two will be announced later. So if you haven't been on Azamara, and you've been wondering about Azamara just because, well, maybe those ships are getting a little old. Well, they are about to drop a lot of money on Azamara to renovate the fleet, and it's going to be rather spectacular. It's going to make me take another look at them. The only thing they didn't talk about is whether the showers are going to be renovated.
Well,
for the standard room, the showers are very, very small. And they did not show a picture of the bathrooms for the regular.
It's doable if you're a more or less normal-sized American.
Doable for the. They do still have some of the best itineraries in the industry. So putting up with a shower. We were on the ship for 16 days or something like
16
that.
days.
And I mean, when you do the math, I was in the shower for like 45 minutes over 16 days. I can deal with a tiny shower. It's fine. It's fine. But the ships themselves are going to be gorgeous. They're bringing the Atlas bar. They're bringing the Atlas bar to all 4 ships. In fact, they're moving it. Now, the downside is if you've been on their ships, the library is going to be completely changed. That's now going to be a chef table location. So that beautiful painting that's up in the ceiling, that's going away. And it will sort of kind of serve a dual purpose, but in the evenings it will be closed off and it will be just the chef table.
Did they talk about whether they're going to work on the infrastructure for the Wi-Fi
Oh,
on
they
their
didn't say a
ships?
word about that, but of course they probably will as part of the whole renovation. I mean,
Well, if they're doing
everything.
that major of a renovation.
They're gutting everything on the
Okay.
ship, so I'm sure everything's going to be good. So, all right. So it is almost noontime on the East Coast, so I am definitely going to go ahead and wrap this up because I've got appointments coming. I got a whole afternoon of appointments. So I thank you for joining us, especially those of you on TikTok. Sorry about it. It's like there were some issues on the TikTok side getting the feed out there. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining in. Now, the next time you see me live, it'll be Thursday night with Cheryl from Silversea. That should be a great conversation. Very excited about that. And then after that, we will be live from the Emerald Princess at some point, Wi-Fi permitting. We'll be live from the Emerald Princess. We're going to have 5 sea days heading out to Hawaii. So we'll definitely go live during one of those sea days as we're heading out to Hawaii. We'll see how good the Starlink is. You never know how it's going to be. So for all of you who are in this storm right now, in the path of all the storm and all the weather, please be safe out there. Please be safe and check on your neighbors. Make sure everybody is good. And thank you so much for your support. If we can help you in any way with your travels, please do reach out. where'swaltertravel.com. Set up an appointment. Our services are truly 100% free to you. We do not charge anything for our services, so we'd love to give you a hand. And to everybody who has booked with us, thank you so much for your support. You've made us one of the top agencies in KHM Travel Group. We're very proud of that, and we're very proud of all the vacations that we've been able to create up to date. All right, everybody, so have a good day wherever you are in this amazing world.